And welcome back to AgriTalk here at Commodity Classic in Nashville, Tennessee. Again, a reminder, when we wrap up our broadcast here at the top of the hour, you can join us at agritalk.com for bonus coverage. AgriTalk Online will have several more interviews, and you can go to agritalk.com and really see them at any time. You don't have to join us when we're doing them live, but you can join us later at your convenience. So a lot of information from here at Commodity Classic, a lot going on. Yesterday we talked with the folks from Koch Agronomic Services about Agritane products, and we're very happy to have with us now Tom Snipes. He's Vice President, Commercial Operations for Koch Agronomic Services. Tom, thank you for joining us. Let's kind of follow up on the conversation we had yesterday with Greg Schwab and Martin Case. Agritane becoming a part of, a product of Koch Agronomic Services. What does this combination really bring to farmers?
We really feel like that the additional resources that as a company that we're kind of putting together now, Koch Agronomic Services, really we just founded that new business platform within Koch Fertilizer a little over a year ago. The first piece of that was we actually brought over some assets from a sister company, Georgia Pacific, which was kind of like their plant nutrition group, and a branded product called Nitamin, which is like a foliar nitrogen. And then obviously Agritane was the most significant acquisition that we've had here recently. But at the same time, we're really trying to add some very robust R&D and agronomy resources. We got multiple PhD chemists that are on staff. We already kind of had some good research that we were working on with the old Georgia Pacific group, and now with the additional resources we've got, one of the individuals I know you've spoken with on numerous occasions has been Dr. Greg Schwab, our Director of Agronomy, and Greg's putting together a great staff, some additional PhD agronomists. We have Mark Alley, who a lot of folks know, who is a past president of the American Society of Agronomy. He's a kind of a dedicated consultant for us and does a lot of work. And then also too with Koch Fertilizer, we've had so much international growth that we've really got kind of a lot of unique touch points to see what growers are doing in a lot of different areas of the world. And so when we kind of combine all those things together with the R&D resources, the agronomic resources, the international reach that we've got, we really feel like we're going to be able to put something together that is going to be able to bring a lot of innovative nutrient management solutions to growers, and probably an area that has not really been as focused on. I mean, I think a lot of people kind of think about genetics and crop protection. They see a lot of the advancements there, but at the same time, when you look at nutrient management, we probably haven't really seen the same level of focus and dedication to providing better systems and solutions to the grower.
That's really a good point. I mean, we know about all the traits and all the technology that's available, and maybe we've not focused enough on nutrient management, which is a key part of the puzzle of trying to reach maximum yield.
Yeah, and I mean, and one of the things with that too is I think it's really important. One of the things we try to really reinforce with our customers and growers is to really make sure you understand the good science behind what you're doing. Because I mean, nutrient management, like you said, there hasn't been as much research, as much education on it, and so we really feel like we've got a lot that we can do to help educate the grower. Because one of the things like with the TFI, the Fertilizer Institute, has the 4 R's program. The right product, right, placement, and all these different things play a really important role in nutrient management. And so if we can kind of combine some of these tools and provide solutions to the grower with some of our products, we really feel like that there's just a lot of fertile ground, I hate to use that term, that is out there for us.
We were just talking with Steve Wellman, president of the American Soybean Association, and we talked about how tempering somewhat the higher commodity prices, the fact that input costs up too. So, a farmer's trying to manage that and finding the best way to maximize those yields and managing those costs. And sometimes there can be that temptation to make a cut here or hold back here, and that can be very costly, especially prices the way they are right now.
Yeah, and that's one thing. I mean, particularly like with Agritane nitrogen stabilizer. I mean, that's a product that with the increasing volatility of weather, I mean, we've just, I don't think any of us really know what a normal weather year is anymore. But I mean, it provides such a great return on investment to the grower. I mean, literally, it's pennies per pound of nitrogen that's applied. And so, for a grower, and our growers are becoming so much more, they're bigger, they're more sophisticated, they're covering more ground, and tools like Agritane, I think, are really important that can go out and provide him more flexibility to be able to keep that nitrogen in place. Because I mean, nitrogen is going to equal yield. I mean, and most of our trials over the last couple of years, particularly like in a lot of nitrogen stress situations, we see 15, 25, bushel yield increases. So I mean, obviously, nitrogen has become a much more significant piece of his budget, and managing that is very important.
I'm hearing a lot of concerns right now, coming off a mild winter for much of the country, and in some cases, somewhat of a dry winter too. A lot of concern. How do we concern about nitrogen loss this spring. What if, we get a lot of rain, or what if the temperature starts shifting around on us, or what if the cold period's still to come? Because it looks like a lot of farmers are going to get maybe to the fields earlier than they have in past years. They don't want to lose what they're putting out.
No, exactly. And honestly, we've even been doing a little bit more research around cold weather volatilization, which is something that I don't really think a lot of people have looked at in the past. But it kind of goes back to the central point you and I were talking about. There probably hasn't been as much good science and research in this area. I mean, for it to be such a significant piece of a grower's budget. And so again, the tools like Agritane, I think, are in a year like this when growers may be getting out early, and you could be looking at extended planting and things like that. I mean, keeping that nitrogen in its place is going to bottom line equal more dollars in their pocket and more yield.
We talked about this yesterday, but just getting farmers that maybe have not looked at urea in the past to look at that as an option, that maybe that is something that would work for them.
Yeah, I mean, again, with bigger and more sophisticated operations, I think that there's a lot more flexibility between UAN and urea. But again, whatever we do, what we're looking at is trying to bring innovative solutions to whatever the nitrogen source that the grower is going to have. Because we've got Agritane Plus, which is a product for UAN, what we call triple action, which is there's additional protection in there over and above just the urea volatilization, but also protects from leaching and denitrification as well.
And the thing, getting back to what we talked about earlier, with Koch Agronomic Services acquiring Agritane, that gives you, all these different options that you can offer to a farmer.
Yeah, I mean, and Agritane was without a doubt the market leader, and that's why we were really excited to kind of bring it in as kind of the true basis of what we're going to go out and build, and the base of knowledge that their field people have brought, and then combining that with our existing R&D. I mean, we're really, really excited. I mean, we truly believe that we're in a serious growth stage, and we're very excited about the solutions that we can bring to U.S. Ag.
As we've said, no one obviously knows what the weather's going to be. Every year is a challenge all into itself, but the goal to reach those maximum yields and maybe extend, Fred Below talks about 300 bushel corn. I mean, that's kind of what we're shooting at here.
Yeah, because Dr. Below has done a great job, particularly like with the 7 Wonders of Corn. He's got that website, and we participated in a lot of research with him. And like Super U, which is another product we have, again, with the triple action, he's done a lot of research around that. And I think to achieve 300 bushel corn, you're going to need tools like Agritane Nitrogen Stabilizer, Super U, for UAN applications for the grower that, he's got liquid flexibility. So, yeah, we're even beyond the current portfolio, the knowledge that we're pulling together, we're pretty excited about the future.
The farmers here certainly coming in with a positive attitude, excited about the potential, and wanting to maximize the opportunities that are out there. And Koch Agronomic Services with Agritane and your other lineup can help them achieve those goals. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thanks so much. We really enjoyed it.
That is Tom Snipes. He's Vice President, Commercial Operations for Koch Agronomic Services. And with that, we'll wrap it up here for our AgriTalk broadcast. Again, more bonus coverage at agritalk.com with AgriTalk Online, a number of interviews coming up. And then back here tomorrow with more on AgriTalk. We'll be talking with wheat and sorghum leaders, and we are scheduled tomorrow to have a conversation with Secretary of Agriculture Tom Vilsack. We thought that was going to be today. His schedule changed, so we hope to have that for you coming up on tomorrow's program. Again, thanks for joining us here on AgriTalk as we broadcast from this year's Commodity Classic underway at the Opryland Hotel in Nashville, Tennessee. Thanks for joining us on AgriTalk, the voice of rural America.